Hello, everybody. Peace and blessings to you, and a lot of love, a lot of love. I hope that this video meets you well. I'm recording on April 14th, 2025, and this is another video which I call another video which is a part of a little series that I've started to record called Learn With Me. And what we're going to be learning is we're going to be learning a little bit about tarot, not a lot, just the basics about tarot using the Light Seers deck, the Light Seers deck as a reference, using the website lightseerstarot.com, lightseerstarot.com as a guide, a teaching guide, a teaching tool. And we're going to explore and learn a little bit about tarot together. And the reason I've decided to do this series is because I have a curiosity about this deck. I have a curiosity about these cards because I love the artistry. I love the imagery. I love this deck highly resonates with me. It was never my intention to explore tarot, at least not at this time. It was never my intention to buy a tarot card. It was never my intention to buy a tarot deck. But what made me change my mind about that is when I was introduced to this card from another intuitive. Her name is Sylvia. Her channel is Colorful Foresight, and we do we do recordings together. We do lives together sometimes. And she introduced me to this card, and then she also introduced me to this card. And she kind of introduced me to the cards based on some descriptions, some things that I had said, where she felt led to introduce me to these cards, and she saw the connection between what I was saying and the imagery I was describing in my head to the cards. So I always leave these cards out. When I pull cards, I only pull 2 at a time. I always leave these cards out. I only started to pull a little bit, on days where I feel called to do that. I pulled these 2 cards yesterday because yesterday was an emotionally challenged day for me. It wasn't one of my good vibe days. The energy was heavy, the emotions was heavy, even though we're coming into spring, and I'm very happy about that. I'm enjoying that we're coming into spring. Part of coming into spring is a reminder, a more strengthening, hovering cloud of uncertainty and instability that is very, very uncomfortable. I'm starting to feel that insecurity and in not feeling safe, not feeling like we really, really, really need to get out before it's too late. We really should leave, and then there's this there's this challenge of knowing what to do, because I don't want to make a decision based on fear. I don't want to subscribe to the fear that is kind of like the energy of fear that is making people do certain things. And I don't want to. I want to trust, and I want to make the best decisions for me and my family. But now that it's spring, it feels a little bit, and as we are seeing the intensity and the cruelty increase, and we are hearing and more awful things are happening to people, and breaking families apart and destroying people's lives, and more awful cruel things, it makes me feel as though we we're not safe here. We're not safe here, even though we're safe here. How long before that changes? What's going to happen? We don't know the future. And the conversation that my husband and I have been having is that, you know, he wants me to be the one to make the decision. He wants me to be one to be more on board with the decision of leaving. And I am in between. I'm in between because I'm an intuitive, and as an intuitive, I feel like if I'm being told to stay put for a minute, to stay put until something presents itself, until a path presents itself, until you know for sure where to go and what to do. Because right now there's no path for us. We are not really seeing what the option is. You know, we're not sure if it is smart to move out of place, if moving out of place will make us safer, or if staying put and protected, staying in position and protected, if that is actually the smarter thing to do. It is really hard to know. My intuition and my spirit feels like that's what it's saying to me, and that's where I keep ending up. But then when things are taking place in the world around me, when you're hearing about all the horrible stuff that is happening to people, all the horrible stuff that is taking place, you're wondering if you should get out. Like I said, get out before it's too late. Get out before it is too late. So I don't know why, but I was curious. I wondered if I was to pull cards today, and by today I mean yesterday, on April 13th. If I was to pull cards, two cards, what would they say? Would any shadow cards come out? Would these cards offer any kind of answers or inspiration? What kind of cards would I get? And the two cards that I got yesterday, because I never put these ones back in the deck. They're always out because they're just my core cards, and it doesn't make any sense putting them in the deck because they're just going to be a part of my main four, you know. And bear in mind, I don't do tarot. Like, I'm not doing tarot. I don't know what's the rules or what's the ways or nothing like that. This is learning tarot. This is basically the whole objective of these videos is curiosity. What the imagery says, what to learn about what these cards mean, to learn about what these symbols mean, and to hear, because I love this site. I love this site because it's very it's full of light and inspiration. So to hear what the artist or the writer, whoever put together the site, what they're saying when they describe the describe the cards. And to also, what I love about it too is it also has the image of the new card next to the image of the, so it also has the new imagery, the new card next to the Rider-Waite deck. So I've pulled this card before, and I've done a discussion on this card. So I don't know if I'm gonna do it again in this video. I may or may not. But this is the first time I pulled the King of Wands, and it's because of the cards that came out. I think that these cards was very interesting that these two cards came out, because the things that I've been thinking about lately is my marriage, and how my husband and I, how can we make decisions now where I'm moving further and further into my intuitive presence, my intuitive mind. My mindset has changed so much since, when we got married. When we got married, we were different people, and now we are, again, no, we were different people that formed a partnership, and now it feels as though like we are kind of like going this way not, in terms of being able to partner with one another and understand how to work together, how to make decisions, especially in this moment, this timeline, because my husband, who is a very, very good family provider, very divine masculine, but also a little bit of divine, very divine masculine, but also he does a lot of the things that, usually women would be identified with. Back in the day, women would be identified with. Like, he's the person that's able to do those things. Like, over this weekend, he was the whole thing about sewing a hole in my son's pants. He was the one that was like basically trying to get that done. He's the one that can sew. He's the one that cooks. And I do a lot of things too as a helper in the household as a whole. But my husband does a lot of things that you would associate with, back in the day, would be associated with what women do. But yes, still he's very, very, very masculine, very, very builder, very logical mind, very completely opposite to me in certain sense of not sentimental and or not intuitive or not feely, not very, very different to me, very different, a different kind of energy, very masculine energy, but yet still in practical capabilities. He's so totally capable of doing the things that would be classified as a whole a woman's job back in the day, if I'm making any sense. So I thought it was interesting that the King of Wands came out, because I have been thinking about my marriage. I've been thinking about my relationship to my husband. I've been thinking about how do we make decisions for our future in this era, in this period of instability and uncertainty and insecurity, in sense of not being secure, insecurity, not being safe, but yet still we have different perspectives of how to handle it, the kinds of decisions to make, how to make those decisions, where do we draw our guidance in making those decisions. Obviously he's going to draw it from more logic and from a more logistical standpoint, whereas I draw my inspiration, my decision making from a spiritual standpoint. And I don't know what is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do in these times. All I know is the way I have made decisions for my life, the way we have made decisions for our life up till this point has worked for us. But now things are very, very unstable and very scary and very, it's hard to know. It is really, really hard to know. So let us move on from that. And let's look at the cards. Let's talk about the cards a little bit. King of Wands. Let's see what it says about the King of Wands. We build this empire of light together. There you go. So what you see about the card, what was so good about this card, what was so interesting about this card is you could see the strength. You could see the leadership. You could see the provider protection energy. And there behind him is the lion. The lion also gives that kind of vibe. The lion, you're thinking about the Lion King, Mufasa and Simba, and that kind of the strong, masculine energy. Just like everybody else in this timeline, I am figuring it out. I'm learning, I'm figuring it out, asking questions and trying to keep my vibration high, trying my best to manage my emotions, regulate my emotions, deal with my thoughts, trying to understand my thoughts, understand my feelings, we have to make decisions in our lives, we have to make big decisions. And we just have to go with the change. Go with the change. So, as I was saying, King of Wands, we build this empire of light together. All hail the king. Okay. King of Wands, key meanings: light seer, upright, an entrepreneurial spirit, a natural born leader, a creative visionary, successful ideation, fearlessness, timelessness. A shadow seer, reversed, being overly ambitious, explosive emotions and impatience, not being compassionate enough with employees and those who seek to help you build your vision, misguided vision. King of Wands overview. This fiery guy, bet you think he's way too young to be a king. His profound wisdom comes bundled with wizened laughter and perpetual zest for joy. He's kept his vitality alive with his dancing and with his obsessive addiction to a life well lived. He's charismatic and a natural born leader, and as you step into his energy, you may feel the surge of his entrepreneurial passion that pushes you to the edges of a new experience. He's determined and self-assured and continuously motivated by innovation. He wants to create the best reality for the people in his life, and he doesn't allow rumination or daydreaming to get in his way. He imagines and then he does. His intensity manifests new ideas to form almost instantly. Not afraid of a little risk, he may keep strange company and challenge the status quo in many areas of his life. He loves offbeat thinking. This is a part of his magic, and he does whatever it takes to move in the direction of his brightly lit future. He keeps his eyes on the prize and runs continuously towards the fruition of his ever evolving dream. So what I hear and understand from that description is that the King of Wands is somebody who has a quest for living life, who has a desire to create the best circumstances for his family and willing to put in the work and use his creative ideas and his abilities and his capabilities to do it. And he's charismatic and a natural born leader. In this imagery, this is giving me the vibes of a younger person who still has that kind of passion for living and who has not subscribed himself to being old and surrendered to it is what it is, and surrendered to the energy of I'm ready to slow down and ready to, retire, ready to be done kind of energy, and honestly, the description of this person is the kind of person that I think would make a really good partner for this person, still has that youthful energy and that vibes out of passion, as it says here, entrepreneurial passion. So he's like very ambitious, but not the kind of ambition where he's gonna overwork himself and ignore his family and treat his, as according to this one with the shadow seer, treat the people that work with him or for him like crap. He has a really, really good balance of living and loving and enjoying life and making things happen, and being a good charismatic leader without the, being an a-hole, without his ambition causing him to be a jerk or to ignore his family or to just be so focused on what, success and the money and the goals and the ambition, that he ignores the living part, and he keeps his eyes on the prize. And this guy, he keeps his eyes on the prize and runs continuously toward the fruition of his ever evolving dream. I like that part. Ever evolving dream. Mean it is a living. It's living. His dream is a living thing that is evolving and shifting and taking and continually, becoming something new as he continues to move towards his dream. So I love the description of this King of Wands. And as I will always say when I compare the cards, same thing, just the big difference. One gives that like casual, flowy kind of king energy, but king, look at this, the lion is in the picture because that's his spirit animal. That's it is like being one with Mother Earth and this here, he's outdoors in nature, just holding his natural wand, which is his fire, his passion, right? And the lion stands behind him, his spirit animal. So I love the vibes and the energy of this modern day King of Wands. And the old King of Wands was, again, rigid, throne, the robes, the royal robes, the royal crown, the sitting on your throne, like if I'm the king of the world kind of energy, like, and everybody else is separate from me and I am separate from everything else. I'm just royalty, and the energy from this card, the old mindset, as far as I'm concerned, to this card is so different. You could just see it, just so different. The vibes is so different. Message from the King of Wands. The card of Moguls, masterpieces, soul inspiration, and epic success. It asks you, where are you headed and what you really want to achieve? What keeps your fire turning on and your passions ignited? Make sure you recharge your energy and take time for awe, beauty, and wonder. Boldly express that offbeat weirdo that you've got inside, and be absolutely unapologetically in pursuit of excellence. Express your visionary creativity by unleashing your ideas in wild new ways. Yes, you. Gosh, I just love it. I love it. I love this guy. I gotta say that if I'm gonna be honest, I don't associate this energy of the person being described here with my husband's energy. Even though my husband is a good man, good leader, good provider, see a different energy, different vibes. It doesn't sound like a description of him, but it does sound like the King of Wands makes a good partner for this lady in the Nine of Pentacles card. If you find yourself getting caught in the weeds of your situation, it's time to see the bigger picture. Recruit help to avoid the minutiae, as you can only create something this stellar by being at the helm of your vision. Holler passionately from the top of the mountain and invite others to see what you see. Your perspectives may seem curiously avant-garde. I'm sorry if I'm calling some of these words wrong. Avant-garde or unique. So invite them to partake in this momentum. Love, career, health, it all gets a positive boost within the fire of this passion. The shadow side of this energy is that you may not be able to see your own limitations or blind spots because of your overzealous ambition. Keep arrogance and unrealistic expectations from blinding your steps as you lead, and work out the kinks first. As you lead and work out the kinks first before excitedly charging ahead with your intensely vibrant heart. So just as I said, the shadow side is like being overly ambitious and ignoring living and focusing on a balanced life, just focusing so much on your ambition that you're ignoring all other elements and aspects of your life. So the questions for the seer: as you run towards your goals, what small details keep tripping you up? Can you work out a better way to deal with the little things? If you could wave your wand and create your perfect life, what would it look like? And when you have that imagined, what 3 steps could you take towards it now? Who could help you with your current challenge? Share your vision and enlist help. What would intensely creative what would an intensely creative and romantic relationship look like to you? All right. So, love this guy. I love this energy. I love this person being described in this, associated with this card. I love it. Love that energy. All right. So, I did do the Nine of Pentacles before. And the thing is about the Nine of Pentacles is that it's a description of the woman in the Nine of Pentacles that she's described is a description of the person that I'm hoping to become, that I'm working on becoming. It's the person that is the kind of life I want to live and the kind of energy I want to live in. I am totally worthy of the bliss and abundance I am about to enjoy. And I'm totally ready to live in that energy. I am really, really totally ready to live in that energy. Nine of Pentacles meaning spiritual and material satisfaction, personal achievement, inner peace, milestones met and celebrated, the energy of a successful harvest and contentment. And I did do this card already. So if you're interested in watching the video in which I talk about the Nine of Pentacles card, please check out. I think it will be the video that would be posted before this video, but I'll put a link in the description because I don't know when this video is gonna get posted because I got other videos to post. So I'm gonna put a link in the description describing or reading how the Nine of Pentacles, how this lady in the Nine of Pentacles is described. But I could tell you that I find it to be very fascinating that these 2 cards got pulled together because I think these make a perfect couple. This is a power couple here. This couple is my dream couple. Because this is the woman that I want to be. I'm ready to become. And I have a crush on this guy that's being described in this one. I love the energy. I love the energy of this description. So just took a quick peek on Google to ask about the wands because I think I did do Pentacles in the previous video. Wands, tarot cards meaning. AI overview. In tarot, the wands suite represents our suit. I still don't know if it's suit, if it's suite or suit. In tarot, the wands suit or suite represents passion, creativity, and action. It embodies fire, energy, and the spirit of adventure. The cards within this suite or suit relate to new beginnings, personal growth, and manifesting our desires through enthusiasm and drive. So, I thought of something. I said that these 2 make a really good couple. They really do look like a good couple. And it's very interesting that I said these 2 make a good couple as opposed to the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, which I haven't pull up the Queen of Wands yet, so I haven't really looked into the meaning of the Queen of Wands as yet. But even though the one of these is like a very driven, passionate leader type of person, and one is more her abundance come from her working with her garden and working with as a nurturer, nurturing things, nurturing her garden and nurturing the animals around her, living in a more spiritual, nurturing space. I think these make a good couple because with his leadership and him working on certain elements of provision and success and his ambition and his ambition leading to providing a better situation for the family, he enables her to be a little bit slower and be a little bit more peaceful, not have to be this kind of ambitious energy, not have to have that ambitious energy, but he enables her to focus on the things that she loves as a nurturer and as a more spiritual person and as a more mellow kind of person that enjoys abundance without having to hustle for it. You know, that abundance comes to her. She also has the same manifesting abilities that he does, but he manifests through his efforts and his work and his creativity and his leadership, and she manifests through her faith and her belief and her spirituality, and also just like working with, you know, Mother Earth, working with nature, working with her you know, the planet and her surroundings, and having her animal friends who are friends and not pets, you know, are armed decor, but they just come to visit. Having her animal friends, you know, also assist her in that kind of pursuit of abundance and enjoyment and peace and calm and things happening, you know, being provided for without having to hustle in the kind of hustly kind of way, in the kind of hustle energy, if that makes sense. So that is the vision and the understanding I have for these two people that are describing this card in these cards, and why I think they make a good balanced couple, you know. And that's I love that couple. I really love that couple. I kind of wish that couple was my husband and I. You know, I believe I have the potential to be this lady. I do not know if my husband has the desire to be this guy. It would be nice. But that's just me sharing my perspective on these two cards that I pulled yesterday as I was thinking about my marriage and thinking about the decisions that we have to make for our future, and thinking about the world that is, and the person that I am now in the world that we're in now, and the person that my husband is now in the world that we're in now, and our children are all grown up to a certain point, and we have to change, we have to evolve, and we have to do things differently. So we have to walk the path towards where we're heading for the future, because the past is gone now. So we have to make decisions for the future and for our children's future and our family's future. So that's just a thought, you know, just thinking and learning and sharing and vibesing. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoy watching it. I hope you enjoy hearing my perspective on things and learning something new with me. I hope that you will, if you haven't already, if you're stumbling on me for the first time and you enjoy this video, to remember to like and to share and subscribe and to, you know, do a comment and just help me out with the algorithm. I will greatly appreciate it. So peace, much love. Thanks for watching.